Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
This week we're discussing, are there any bad bikes anymore?
Plus we've got hot tech, of course some bad news from Campagnolo, we've got Aero Handlebars, and I'm on the show, which means we've got gubbins.
Brilliant. We've also got the bike vault in your comments. First up, we're talking about, are there any bad bikes anymore, specifically within the pro peloton? Because I feel that in the past there have been bikes out there that, you know, were substandard to the point where it made a big difference to people. And I'm just wondering if that's the case now. So immediately what springs to mind for me would be something like the Kirk Precision, which we put on the thumbnail of this video. So for those who aren't familiar, that was a bike that was around in like the late 80s, early 90s, that was made of it was essentially a magnesium girder. And it looks really cool. And I've ridden one, but I think anyone that's ridden one would tell you that they aren't the best. They're pretty flexible. They're not very stiff. They don't ride especially well. They're also quite heavy for what they are. And yeah, like I think if you were made to race on that against people racing on other things, you would definitely feel a big disadvantage. But I mean, I'm not sure if that's the case now. What about you, Conor? I mean, when you were racing, is there anything that stands out? Do you have any clunkers?
I personally think when I was racing, I think there was a bigger disparity than what there is now. I'm also thinking of the times when I was racing on like lower ranked teams, so like continental teams, which don't have the same resource that your big World Tour squad would have. And more often than not, you're not on the same level of equipment. It's just kind of a fact. There would be a few out there who would, but for the most part, I think you're kind of playing a bit of catch up. So back then, you do notice it. Like you'd rock up to, and at those races, you do races where teams kind of meet in the middle. There's a bigger spread. So you would have teams who would be on like an Aero or a Venge, and you know that bike's fast. You know it's had a lot of thought put into it. And then you'd also have a good few teams who just weren't on a bike of that scale.
Yeah.
And but you try and put it out of your mind, I think. That's why I didn't think about it, because you have no choice in it whatsoever. If you're trying to get through the ranks pro cycling, you just have to take what you're given, and do the best job you can on it.
I think that's an important point. I mean, like, your era was not too long ago, but a lot has happened in the last few years, and there was that period in the sort of 2010s where there were teams that had absolutely zero aero. You know, if you were thinking about like, so even like Peter Sagan, when he was riding the Cannondale Super 6, amazing bike, but it was like completely not aero at all, versus teams that at that time did have aero bikes. You know, like the Canyon Air Road was around at that time.
Yeah.
And we know now that is giving a significant advantage.
Yeah. I found it really, in a way, quite depressing riding the Air Road for the first time. That was like one of the first like out and out.
Like when I joined GCN. I remember you saying,
and I was like,
I remember you saying,
I'm genuinely not saying that. I got on that bike, I was like, oh wow,
I could have won so much.
No, but that's it as well, because I don't think I would have. I think racecraft, your ability to be efficient in the bunch, surf the wheels, know how to read a race, that plays a bigger factor. The bike plays a big role.
It can also psychological role.
Psychological role too, which is why I never thought about it.
Yeah, you want to block that out. Like a negative placebo, a nocebo. I mean, the biggest areas where the equipment's going to make difference is weight, rolling resistance, and aero. And of those, aero's probably the biggest difference. I think now, like I was saying, you know, a few years ago, there were teams that had an aero bike and other teams that didn't. Now, pretty much every team has got an aero bike at their disposal. But I did do some looking online at stuff for this. The most interesting information I could find is actually from Tour Magazine. So Tour Magazine aero test independently, like every bike, or try to, that's commercially available, which is really cool. And they rank them, and they try and keep the test standardized. So there are limitations to their testing, which I think I should just point out. So they put the same wheels in every bike, and some bikes perform better with different wheels. They put the same sort of bar width on every bike. So, for example, it's usually 40 centimetre bars, but some bikes aren't available with cockpits that are less than that. But other bikes, like the Pinarello Dogma, you can get like 36s. So you can go, really aero and really narrow on that if you want to. So there are like limitations with the test. But that said, the bikes that sort of come out the top in their ranking are like the Cervelo S5, the Y1 RS that Pogacar has, and the Canyon Aero, generally like the sort of top ones in the pro peloton. And they're very close to each other. And then below that, like by just sort of 4 watts or so, you've got like the Specialized Tarmac, the Pinarello Dogma, the Cannondale, and a lot of other sort of bikes in that ballpark. So you've got a lot of bikes that are very close together, where there's not a huge amount of difference in terms of performance. Like I feel like that's quite a level playing field. However, there are a bunch of bikes where there's, according to Tour Magazine, quite a big gap down. So the difference between the fastest and the least fast is actually quite striking. So they did an interesting analysis of stage 7 of the Tour de France last year, which finished with up the Mur de Bretagne, down the Mur de Bretagne, a little loop, and then up the Mur de Bretagne again. And they did a thing showing the difference that a bike could make if you used the first ascent of the Mur de Bretagne as a launch pad and then went solo. And they said that the difference just purely on bike between the best and the worst was 36 seconds in that section, which would be the difference between winning and losing. So if that is to be believed and their testing is accurate, then I would say yes, there is like a significant difference whereby the bike could decide the race.
That's a big chunk. 36 seconds is a big chunk.
Yeah, it makes sense because when you look at the difference in aero, there's they sort of say, they use a figure of 204 watts aero penalty for the best sort of bikes, and then it goes down to sort of 220 odd watts or something, or 230 watts or something for the slowest ones. And then there's a bunch of bikes that are sort of, the ones that stood out to me were ones that were around 280 and 220. And 2 of them that stood out there were the Look Blade RS that Cofidis would use, and the Envy Melee, which was being used by Total Energies. And because they don't have a more aero option than that to use, but so they're at a sort of, again, I have to stress, according to this data from Tour Magazine, they're at sort of 45 kilometres an hour. They're at a sort of 14 watt penalty to Tadej Pogacar, which when he's that good already is...
You don't want to know that, do you?
No.
If you're on those. But at the same time, I think caveat too, that is just aero data. You're not talking about weight.
Yeah, but then the weight comes into it as well. So, there's there are other bikes as well. But the thing that we know is that Pogacar has been able to get the paint stripped off his bike and fancy parts on it and get it down to sort of pretty close to the UCI limit. So I think that and also the Cervelo S5 that Jonas Vingegaard rides is sort of down there as well. There is this kind of I think holy grail of being able to get an aero bike that's then close to that UCI limit. You're at a definite advantage over some of the other teams. But the question is, how big an advantage do you think it really is?
It's big.
Do you think Pog could win on any bike at the moment in the World Tour?
Yeah, 100%. I think he could.
I think he could as well.
He could too. But then I think you could also look at real specific examples and question those, like his win at the Worlds this year. If he was on a bike of different qualities, would he have actually stayed away? Because there was a moment in that chase where it looked really tight.
I think the fact that he's ridden an aero bike in most of his wins and racing this year has helped him win even more. and I think compared to what he's riding before, and like the Colnago's own assessment of the difference in aero between the V4 RS and the Y1 RS, and then also what Tour Magazine have said about it, it marries up. Like, they've made him even faster.
I think that's what's key. He's won even more. I think he'd still be winning, but I don't think it would be to the same amount. I don't think it's the same for people and riders who aren't on the same bike.
Yeah.
On different teams, like they're still getting results. They're still going to be up there, but like obviously, looking at those small percentages, it would nudge them up a bit more. But it's not going to they're not going to not be able to win a race because they're on a different bike.
Yeah. I think the other thing, the thing to point out as well is like all the bikes that are in the World Tour are fantastic bikes, and they're all amazing. And you are sort of splitting hairs here. I think like there isn't the question I posed at the top of the show is there a bad bike? And I'd say no, there isn't. There isn't a bad bike, but I do think that there are differences which in certain situations can make the difference.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if I'm comparing things to when I was like racing 10 years ago, I think there were bad bikes then. I think now, looking at what we've just spoken about here, like the World Tour specifically, you can't say there's a bad bike in the World Tour.
No, but it's just maths though. When you say, right, just purely on weight, not talking about aero, you'd go, well, this bike can weigh. It's hard to get it below 7.5 kilos, right? Whereas this bike, we know we can get that to 6.8. And if the race was just purely uphill, having 700 grams advantage, it's more than a water bottle. It's a few seconds. Winning margins that can be a winning margin easily.
Put a rear rack on for 700 grams.
Well, there you go. Of course, that's where your brain went. Yeah. Yeah, but let us know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? Are there any bad bikes in the World Tour right now? And how big a difference do you think it actually makes?
Right, before we move on to Hot Tech, don't forget we've got a Black Friday sale and it is still running up to 50% off across the board. So do check it out if you've got a moment, because there are some proper bargains over there.
Over at shop.Global Cycling Network if you fancy some merch. And, we are an independent business now, and anything that you do, if you want to support us, really helps, and we really appreciate it, especially, if you enjoy our content and what we've been doing recently, especially since we became independent, then, yeah.
Yeah, nice one. Thanks, guys. But let's crack on with Hot Take now because, a good bit to talk about, including some job cuts at Campag.
Yeah, so this came out that they are cutting 120 jobs at Campagnolo in their headquarters, which is in Vicenza. And I've been over there to Vicenza, to the HQ, a few times. There's a big factory down there. It's quite important to the local town, actually. But apparently they're saying that this comes off the back of 24 million euros of losses over the last 3 financial years.
That's over the 3 years, not each year.
Yeah. But it's still running up a huge loss.
Yeah.
It's interesting, this. And I think people have long suspected that Campagnolo wasn't doing great. We had the whole thing of that they weren't in the World Tour anymore. Then they've come back and they're with Cofidis. But they only got one team. It's a shadow of their sort of former glories. They had the launch of Super Record, which had a mixed reception, I think, critically, when it was launched a couple of years ago. And then they just this year launched the sort of probably quicker than people expected, a sort of update to it. They're clearly just
tough times. That's a 40% cut in the workforce, if I'm right.
Yeah.
40%. Yeah, so it's a sizable cut, obviously in difficulty. Yes, it's sad to hear. Campag is one of those brands which was once something that was it was a really, it would be amazing to have Campag bike, because it still is. So I think it's a pity to see him going through such tough times.
Well, the thing is with Campagnolo, it's an interesting one. I think amongst cyclists, they are the ultimate heritage brand.
Yeah.
They've got, and there's a lot of love for Campagnolo.
Yeah, I mean, I raced on Campag. I've ridden bikes on this channel with Campag, which I thought did the job perfectly.
Yeah. I think if I get my sort of Nostradamus hat on and think, if I try and predict the future, this is what I think is going to happen, right? Campagnolo will continue to lose cash and it will become insolvent. And then when it's worth hardly anything or the minimum amount possible, someone will come in and buy it and they will relaunch the brand. Well, we just had it with TVR cars in the UK. That's sort of just happening. But I think like that will happen, and it's someone that it needs someone who understands marketing and luxury brands and prestige brands and heritage and that sort of thing. And it's the person that would immediately spring to mind would be someone like Simon Mottram, who founded Rafa. But I think something like that, and then a big cash injection, and I think Campagnolo could be reborn in the future and be very successful. But
yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, it's not at that point yet, but I'd love to see them continue.
I think it will. I don't think the brand. I think the brand will be successful in the future. I think it will, because there's just so much love for it. It's kind of a unique thing. I can't see it. So there's so much love for the brand and the logo that someone will eventually buy it and relaunch it, and everyone will be excited. Yeah. That's my prediction.
Okay, well, we'll hold you to that.
Yeah.
5 years time from now.
Speaking of, I just mentioned Simon Mottram from Rafa. Did you see the Quirk Cycles news?
No, I missed this.
So Quirk Cycles, really cool, is a sort of custom frame builder. So we've actually featured them on the channel before when we've gone to the bespoke shows, because it often puts out some really, really nice bikes. And Simon Mottram's invested in Quirk Cycles now. So he's like the lead investor to help, further them in what they're doing, which is pretty cool. So we'll show on screen now the MAM Tour, which was a bike that I saw at the Bespoke show in London a few years ago. And the custom paint job on it was absolutely out of this world. But yeah, cool to see. Cool to see an independent brand going from strength to strength, custom bikes and that.
Yeah,
cool.
Sure.
Next up, I've got some weird handlebars to show you.
Go on, do it.
Right. So these are from Toot Engineering, who you may remember we featured their bike on the tech show because they put out their Aero bike with some very outrageous claims about how fast it was. And do you remember this?
Yeah, I remember that. You weren't happy about the claims at the time.
No, I mean, I think it was just right to question them. They weren't happy that we questioned them, but the outrageous claims require serious proof. But anyway, they've launched a handlebar which is said to be more sort of aerodynamic and skirts the UCI restrictions on handlebars.
Okay.
So it's a sort of riser bar thing that can get you sort of into a higher position at the front end, which is interesting. There's quite a few people sort of advocating that being sort of higher and narrower at the front end, which is what we've seen with TT bars, can help you get you more aerodynamic. And it's got a big flare on it as well, and it's designed so that the hoods can be positioned inwards but respect the rules. But it looks pretty cool, to be fair to it, very bladed on the top section, and it's called the M3 Race.
I mean, it's an insane rise on that, isn't it? I like them. I think the thing is, these are the bars that Jan-Willem van Skip's using.
Is it?
I think these are the bars he's using.
It's something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and but he's using them with a massive stem that's flipped, so he's got super high. I mean, how he rides position is incredible. I don't know, but it's working for him. He's smashing the races in Holland at the moment.
Yeah.
If you don't know who Jan-Willem van Skip is, here's a photo of him using these bars.
The thing is, though, is when I've ridden a bike before that has the bars sort of up like that, it does have a big impact on handling.
Oh, massive.
And
I
it
do
does
not know
not
how he
feel
handles that bike.
nice to ride down a descent going quick.
Yeah.
So there does come a limit whereby like you're trading off handling for like aero.
I mean, he's kind of gone down like the Graham O'Brien route where he's just tried to look at it from another angle. And he's obviously like picking his moments in his races and just like doing a big attack, getting crazy aero and like riding off.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working for him. I think it works very well in Holland specifically.
Yeah.
I don't think in other terrains it would be quite as effective. But yeah, I don't know how he handles the bike. It must be so nerve-wracking in the bunch. Or he's just sitting at the back and waiting and biding his time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Interesting though.
Yeah,
I wonder when
interesting.
UCI are going to get on this and potentially outlaw it, because people are looking at ways to skirt the rules, aren't they?
They always do.
They always do.
I've got a new toy that I got sent as well. It's pretty cool. Pretty excited about this.
Oh, I saw you playing with this earlier.
Yeah. It's the new Peak mini booster.
That's small.
I know. I'm really pleased with that. So it's the new electric pump to Peak. They've made it smaller. I saw it at Rouleur, but I've managed to get my hands on one. But do you take yours on rides with you?
I do.
Because you've got the OG one that's a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Do you take one of these with you on a ride?
I do. It's on the bulkier side for a pocket.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Because that's now, I don't mind putting that in a pocket. That's the size of like one of the blooming big 60-gram bars that gel, what do you call it? Precision fuel and hydration chews.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot smaller. So how many inflations do you get from that?
Well, that depends, Connor, on what you're inflating. So if you're doing a 28mm tyre to 80 psi, they reckon 3 inflations out of that, which is pretty good.
That's
when
pretty
you
good.
get 3 punctures, like that's pretty good, right?
That's really good.
With a gravel tyre, if you were doing 40mm tyre, they reckon 6 inflations because you go into a lower pressure.
That's good. And you know what? Like, we're seeing a lot of electric pumps come out now. So you have the different options. You have your normal pump, you have gas, you have this. That is like, for fitting in your pocket, carrying out on a ride with you, that is a really good option. And like, if you do run out, I think most of the time, you could get yourself to a calf and give it a little top up.
Well, USB-C charge. So yeah, someone will have that at the calf. Even in Bolivia, we found that people had USB-Cs everywhere. So I think the other thing as well is like that they have gauges on them. I find that really useful now because I've got a video coming out about dialing in your tyre pressure and the importance of it. But these basically have a digital gauge that's plus or minus accurate 2 psi. So it's really useful for getting your pressure absolutely spot on. Big fan of that.
Nice.
Speaking of Tepic, actually got a competition on at the moment.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. So if this runs till the 5th of December, so I mean that's if you want to enter and you've not entered, this is now is the time.
It's do or die.
Okay,
do or die,
and
folks.
it's your chance to win one of 3 bundles that include the ZI rack with a strap mount and 1 U-Shell dry bag and 1 U-Shell for the Zyrac Essential. So if you want to win, I mean, it's pretty cool for like a bike touring setup or a bike packing setup.
Yeah,
There's something that's a bit more sturdy. It's good. If you want to enter that competition, then there's a link in the description below. And it's completely free to enter, although there are some restrictions. Once again, our apologies go out. Kim Jong-un.
It's Kim Jong-il, isn't it?
No, Kim Jong-il was his dad.
Oh, it's Kim Jong-un.
They said he was ill. That's a joke. He died. Anyway.
Enter with a VPN.
Yes, if you wish to enter Kim Jong, get a VPN.
Yeah.
There we go.
Ollie will cycle it over to you, mate.
Yeah. Cool. Right.
Right, moving on.
Comments.
Moving on. Hey, you haven't let me do my gubbins.
Oh, gubbins.
Yeah.
Hit us with the gubbins.
I'm on the show. I'm doing gubbins.
Come on then.
Right. It's my moment, people. It's my moment.
Yeah.
Well, I did spot something really cool. So this is called the Stayer Carry On. It's from Stayer Cycles. So basically, this is like a cargo bike conversion kit.
Everybody's dream.
It's my dream.
Just what I've always wanted.
I know it's plenty of your dreams too. So basically, if you've got an old like steel 26-inch mountain bike frame, knocking
Except
around,
you'd do it on a Pinarello Dogma, wouldn't you?
I can't wait for the day that I turn up with my Pinarello with my racks on it. Anyway, if you got a frame, they'll bring it in. So you have to book it in. You buy the conversion kit. It's about £1,400 sterling, English money. And basically, at their workshop, they will like redo your old 26 mountain bike and put this kit on and make it a cargo bike. It's really cool. You can see a photo of what one of their bikes looks like after having it done.
Yeah, shows.
Looks like that. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Look at that.
I mean, it's just...
But if you've got an old bike hanging around, you're 1,400 quid.
That's... Yeah. 1,400, yeah. It's basically what we did for that junk bike battle.
Yeah. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
There you go. Gubbins is over. I mean, you get loads of gubbins on that.
Yeah.
There's kids who could get on that.
Yeah. That is...
Dogs. Maybe a cat. I've seen people travelling with cats recently.
Time now for comments of the week. Comments that you've been leaving underneath our videos over the past week. Last week's show, we were talking about some wooden bikes on the tech show from Ornus. I was quite scathing of the wooden bikes. There were quite a lot of comments talking about wood in a favourable way. One thing I will say, wood. After your video talking to the carbon expert, where he was saying about the environmental impact of carbon fibre, wood, sustainable material, much better for the environment. Detroit Johnny said, wood is not as crazy as it sounds. It's not an ideal material for other reasons, but its stiffness to weight ratio is relatively high. Wooden rowing shells were quite light, but eventually became more expensive to produce than composite ones.
Interesting.
Well, it's true, isn't it? Other people were pointing out, the de Havilland Mosquito, which is my favourite aeroplane of all time.
Okay, yeah, I think I do. I've actually heard of that.
The wooden wonder. Oh. Yeah, but one thing I will say about that plane, amazing as it was, it broke airspeed records and stuff. They couldn't use it in the tropics because it was made of wood and it would melt or something.
Really, just get really
delaminate. Yeah, it was, yeah.
Start to go rotten.
But yeah, there you go. So yeah. Cool. I think, cool that Ornus is making wooden bikes.
Really cool. They've invited you to give one a test as well.
I know, it'd be cool. I'd be interested to ride one,
That'd be
see
awesome.
what it's actually like.
Yeah.
I'll try anything once. Next comment under the underhyped bikes products video.
Yeah, this was sent in by TRNeo5. I love watching GCN, where I'm told $5,000 to $7,000 bikes are mid-range. Like saying a Porsche Macan is mid-range compared to a Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS.
Yeah. No, it's a fair comment. I take it. I think it's all relative, isn't it? But the point is we are in a situation now where, and it is crazy, but the 5,000 or the 4,000 quid bike or dollar bike is now the mid-range.
Yeah.
I
always get confused with my calculations. So what? That's $5,000 US. That's around 3,785.
Yeah.
Sterling to euros, it's like 4,300 euros.
Yeah, but for road bikes, that is the middle.
It's high middle. I'd say that's high middle.
But in a literal sense, if you go, well, the cheapest road bike you could buy with drop handlebars is $300, $400, right, from Walmart or something, and then you go, the most expensive is $15,000. Then it's below middle, like in a literal sense.
Yeah.
But that's why anyway. You get my drift.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do take the point, and yeah, you're right. Alien Base said, a sensible show. Thanks. I have an Athos Comp. It's got 105 Di2. It's a lot cheaper than the S-Works, but they love it. I think that's great. And the other thing we spoke about was the high volume to peak valves as being underrated because they're blooming great. I'm absolutely loving them. But a lot of people were commenting about other ones as well that are out there, because there's quite a few brands making these high volume valves, and a lot of love for the Schwalbe click valves. Oh, okay. People saying extra airflow, no fiddly screwing, just click on and off with the pump head, and they're backwards compatible with Presta pumps, saying they're an absolute no-brainer. That was from Photo Ben.
These extra airflow valves, whoever invented them, you need a hug from me.
Yeah, great idea, isn't it? Simple idea, but it's great.
Yeah.
Some comments under the Christmas presents ideas video.
Yeah, Eric Kottux CU8037 said, love to see Dr. Ollie Bridgewood, 40 years old, PhD, and basically the humour of a 13-year-old dragging his mate down with him.
It was when Alex just started talking about massive tools in his hand. It was like, everyone sort of started commenting saying, Kieran Friend commented saying, it's like watching Beavis and Butthead, love it. I wasn't sure if that was your ex-teammate, Kieran Friend.
I'm not sure either if that, I mean, that is his name. I don't know if it's Kieran Friend 3831 or not.
If that could be your ex-teammate.
Good to see you, Kieran.
If it is Kieran Friend.
And yeah, it is like Beavis and Butthead.
Right? Yeah. There you go. Right.
Alan Porsche, Guard 7785 said, good video, Beavis and Butthead.
There's a lot of Beavis and Butthead comments going around at the moment. Anyway, right, Bike Vault time. This is where you submit pictures of your bikes using the link in the description below.
We decide.
The bell's there.
If it's a nice receipt. You know this bell?
The Bike Vault. Apparently there are some imitation Bike Vaults, but this is the OG, this is the best. This is the original Bike Vault.
The original Bike Vault.
Yeah.
Fair point. I was thinking of stealing this bell for my kids. Just to when they get rowdy, just ring the bell.
Okay. Well, first up, we've got Ralph R. Cool story, bro. And this is a Geos Compact Pro. They've submitted it before, but this is a more recent photo showing the correct Campagnolo record chain set, which they'd at one point replaced with a Centaur Compact to make life easier. But the bike was less aesthetically pleasing with the compact chain set. That is a very nice bike, isn't it?
I like that.
And it's got some Campag love going on there. Campag wheels.
Vittoria Corsa tyres.
Bentos.
That's a super nice. You got to get that super nice.
And I do love those chain sets like that. And it's got those old classic elite water bottle cages on there that are the ones that up until recently were still getting used at Paris-Roubaix. Mm-hmm. Do you remember those ones being used? Because they're really like secure ones, and bottles would not bounce out. I'm into that.
I know what you mean about having the bigger chainring on the front. I think it does look.
It does look really nice. Yeah. Nah, that is a
super nice. Let's go then.
Very nice bike. Who we got next?
Next up is Lorenzo Large, the all-new old bike. So this is a recently revamped bike with a selection of bits lying around the garage. No Durace cranks, sadly.
Well, we know where they all are.
Yeah, somehow they've made their way to Alex's shed.
Yeah.
The frames are titanium airborne, Carpe Diem from the early to mid noughties. It's got Kinesis forks on there, 11-speed group set, TRP calipers, 40mm Novatec carbon wheels, TPU tubes, Caracal all-road tyres. I hope you appreciate me lining the logos up with the valves. The whole thing's finished with a gold chain, fist bump, camo bar tape, and a dice valve cap because I'm a cool mother humper.
Yeah. Is that a gold chain? Yeah, it is. You said that.
Gold chain, yeah.
Do you know what though? Like, where on earth is this photo taken? It looks like it's been taken on like the Western Front in like 1916. Like, what is this?
It's a very frosty morning, and I think you've been out on an early one. Fair play. But it is a bit dull. It's a dark photo. We could have done with a bit more light here.
That is a menacing hedge.
It's a very menacing hedge, isn't it?
Yeah. That is...
I think we should super nice this, though, just for the moody vibes. The moody vibes and obviously the nice
fair
bike.
play for getting out in such a thick frost.
Oh, it's those chunky tyres.
And they've removed the gubbins. You need to learn from this, Connor. I think that ride was not a ride that was undertaken without serious gubbins. And I can tell that's, I commend them for removing the gubbins for the photo.
Gubbins can complement a bike.
Yeah.
It can complement a bike.
It is the
I know you beg to disagree.
I mean, it is the complete opposite of a sort of shadow stand, though, that, isn't it? I mean, that is...
We're also in the Biggie Smalls, or the Biggie rather.
Yeah.
There's a lot of misdemeanors here. It's up to how cruel we're feeling.
It's cool, though. No, I like this because there's thought gone into this. This is something that's been cobbled together by someone that knows what they're doing with a lot of different parts. You've got the TRP brakes on there. It's the fact that they put 105 on it, I'm absolutely loving.
Yeah, and they say they've got this bike for under $1,000.
Yeah,
for the build. So we have that's a super nice.
Yeah.
Just for that.
No, it's pretty great.
And also it's Cheshire, not the Western Front. So
check. Next up, we've got Stevie B with a flash yellow in 38 degrees. It's it's actually a Cuba Gris from 2025, and the colour is flash yellow. It's a size 58.
That's a very nice yellow.
Magine power meter cranks on there, 165mm. Like it.
Nice.
Speedplay Zero pedals, tubeless with Corsa Next tyres, 30mm tyres, Silca Ultimate Sealant in there, is what he said.
I like the storage pod on this bike.
Of course you do.
Flipping heck, it's 38 degrees Celsius for them.
That's,
on the Gold Coast.
Need a bit of heat training to deal with that. Especially when it's combined with 80% humidity. I like the blue cages. Yeah.
Those blue shiny cages on the yellow.
I don't.
That pops.
I'm not a fan of the clash there.
And it also goes with the bar end plugs.
Yeah.
And the bottom.
There's a little bit of colour coordination, but it's just a bit weird. It's a bit tokenistic. It's a bit too tokenistic.
Yeah, but I think if you colour coordinate to that extent and it makes it clash, I think it works well.
Really?
Yeah. I've been through as a super nice. I can't pick any more holes.
It's a good photo though. It's well presented. I think that's a cool bike. I like the 30s on it, on those naming wheels. They look. I know it's a side-on view, but they look like they're inflating pretty broad. I think, it's cool.
Super nice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right then, next up, classic Italian steel. Oh, this looks like it's going to be nice. A Cinelli Super Corsa from 1983.
This is from Old Davo 1950.
Old Davo, thanks for sending this in.
That could be my dad. He's called Dave.
Yeah.
And he's from 1950.
He's putting the price in dollars, so unless your dad's just moved to Australia.
He might have done, yeah. Cinelli Super Corsa, 1983. Full Campagnolo Super record. That is a cool bike, isn't it?
That's cool to be still riding around on that. That's what? Over 40 years old now at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, he says that he bought the group set, the Super Record group set, for $800 that year, Australian. And he said that was a month's wages.
Wow.
For him back then. That's cool, because what's cool about that is that it's the fact that it's still going.
Still going.
That group set has lasted and it stood the test of time, and I think that's absolutely brilliant.
That is incredible. Love that.
It's not amazing location. I like the concourse saddle as well, I should say. That's really cool. Do you know what I don't like though? I mean, it's not presented especially well for such an amazing bike. But the thing that I really don't like is the old school wired bike computer, because I just think they look so messy.
Yeah.
With the speed sensor.
Yeah. I remember having to put those on my bike.
Yeah, I remember it as well.
Yeah. They were
wired down onto the thing. Yeah.
I think for the story behind this bike, though, it's got to be a super nice. You can't not. He's been using that group set for over 20 years.
Well, you should know better then.
Poor old Dave. Let's put it through, Ollie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that he's 75 as well.
Yeah.
And he's still going. And his bike's still going.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Good one, old Davo. Keep it going, mate.
Yeah.
Right then, next up, and I think this is our last bike of the bike vault. You take this one, mate.
Well, I was just going to say, if he's anything like my dad, then the fact that he's managed to work his camera phone and upload the
I was
thing,
about to
then
say, yeah, there is no way. Well,
fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, Alex2727 says, "Hi guys, he's got a Zwift bike here. I thought I'd show you my Zwift bike setup. He's been Zwifting a week and he's using an old mountain bike for his Zwift setup. So this is, we don't normally do a Zwift setup. What do you make of that?"
I think that is pretty neat. I mean, yeah, it's a new one. I like the tablet stand.
What do you make of his sort of wall of inspiration? He's got Muhammad Ali.
And all of Armstrong's wins.
And then he says, he's got a post that says Lance Armstrong, 7-time Tour de France champion.
Yeah.
Do you think Lance Armstrong's a 7-time Tour de France champion? Or do you think no one won the Tour de France in those editions?
I think there's a time and place to get into this, Ollie. And now is not the time and the place.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I think super nice.
Yeah, super
He's
nice.
just got into it.
Yeah,
good. Crack on. You get fit over Windsor with your Zwift cog.
Click and cog, yeah. Keeping the
Right,
hype
last
going.
one this week. Vita Rosa. He's got a Pinarello Dogma F in Luxter Blue. What do you make of this?
Oh, gubbins underneath the GPS mount. Good, thumbs up from me.
No.
You don't need to apologise. You don't need to apologise for it.
We've got a bit of a chimney action going on. I think also there's something else about this that I've seen and I just can't unsee it now, which is the sort of stain, the dribble that's occurred down the seat post
Where's
area.
the dribble?
From the seat post down to the stays, there's a dribble.
If you're not putting the bike through, you're going to dribble and you can make the call.
Look, this is a Pinarello Dogma F in Luxter Blue, Connor. It must be held to the highest of standards.
Okay.
And a dribble, plus the fact that it's sort of been photographed in, I mean, where is that?
It looks like a...
It's like an office building. It's like a corporate headquarters for some...
It's a strange setting. They might have just ruined... I was always thinking it was a lift.
Yeah, or a lift. It's been photographed in a lift.
They might be on their lift on the way to their ride, you know, go down.
No. This is a nice.
Okay.
It should be a super nice, but the lift and the dribble and the chimney combined...
Sorry, Vitor. Sorry, Vitor. It was Ollie's call on that one.
Resubmit
Without the dribble. It's Ollie's call.
There we go. That's all we've got time for.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah. Hope you've enjoyed it. Love you. Bye.
See you in the next one.